Hi friends, welcome to Harmony Hills Home and Garden. I'm Jenny, we're gardening here in Baltimore, Maryland, Zone 7. Today I am working on these hollies that I have been dealing with over the last couple of weeks. I am going to make the hard decision to do a rejuvenation prune on them. Let me show you what I mean. You may remember that about a month ago, Dave and I transplanted two very large Burford Hollies from their existing locations in the front foundation into new locations. And since then, they've really been struggling to establish themselves with good root systems, and many of the leaves have been turning brown. This is one of them. This is the one we put under the center of the dining room window. And you can see that it's really lost a lot of its leaves, which are now on the ground, and it's really thinned out and is really struggling. And the one across the way on the other side is doing the same thing. So what I'm going to do with these, many of you have suggested this, and I was trying to hold off on this until the roots could get a little bit more established before I really do this hard prune. But I'm going to do what's called a rejuvenation prune. And what that means is that usually you do this on an established shrub with an intact root system. So that's the risk here. But what you do is you cut it back way down, even to even stumps or bare branches. I've done this with azaleas, I've done this with boxwoods, I've done this with hollies, and several other style of woody evergreen shrubs can handle a rejuvenation prune. A lot of spireas can do this, etc. So I'm no expert, so please don't listen to me as if I'm an expert on this subject. It's just that I am a risk taker in the garden. I don't mind taking risks. I feel like nothing ventured, nothing gained. So that's where I stand on this subject. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down pretty much all of the growth off of these hollies, and I'm going to take them down probably to about 2 feet tall. They will be looking dead. They'll look a lot like my neighbor's yew shrub stumps over there. And then what will happen, fingers crossed, is that they will push out new growth from those stumps, and it'll be a smaller, more manageable sized shrub, and I'll be able to keep them size checked in the future. My goal is for them to not cover up the bottom of the window, because I want to try window boxes across here next season. At least that's what I have in my mind. It might not work out, but so I want these shrubs mature size to barely graze the bottom of that sill right there, if even that big. So I need to cut them down, and so I think I'm going to cut them down to about 2.5 feet tall, and I'm going to take off all of the live growth. Truth in advertising, I've already started on the one that's on the other side of the house, and here's what it looks like already. It looks pretty scary. And there's my waste pile. I haven't done anything with it yet. So again, I'm taking it all the way down. It will be just bare stump. It will probably shoot out some new growth if we don't get a killing frost in the next couple of weeks. But it will spend the winter looking mostly like a stump. And then over time, as it puts out new growth, I'll be able to shear it into the shape that I want. So this is the one I've already started on. There's my cuttings down here. And you can see so far I've just been using my hand pruners and just trimming off branches, but I will be taking these further down. I'm going to remove any interior branches that are crossing or rubbing and things like that. And I'm going to be taking it down pretty far so that, again, when it regrows, it will not be taller than this bottom of the windowsill. I do want to show you this one. This is one that was not transplanted. It's been in its space. This is the one that I pruned back. And you can see how much new growth it has already pushed out. And so it's doing pretty well. It's pretty healthy. And its size is roughly what I want it to be in the end. You can see that it's not really all the way up to the windowsill. And so that's kind of what I want this one to be as well. Like I said, you can do this hard prune on things like boxwoods, azaleas, hollies, spirea, and probably any other number of evergreen woody shrubs, small trees. And this is a risk that I'm taking. We are in mid-October. I think today's the 14th. And so there's a really strong chance that, one, that these root systems are not yet well established enough to support the plant in pushing out new growth. I was trying to wait until the roots had a chance to really settle in to support the plant, because this, of course, is a huge shock on the plant. And the plant is going to want to send up a bunch of new growth naturally, but if its roots aren't strong, it won't be able to support that. So I might be actually just killing these hollies outright right now. But there's also a chance that the roots are fine and that they will push out new growth, and that next year these will be lovely hollies. So I'm going to take that risk, and I'm going to go ahead and do this hard prune, and hopefully they will reflush and look lovely next season. That's my number one hope. My number two backup plan is, if this actually does kill them, then I'll take them out and I'll replace them with some other evergreen foundation shrub. I'm not sure yet what. Maybe even just replace them with more hollies and just site them in the place where I want them. I don't know. But I'm giving this a shot first. So that's what's happening today. My hand pruners, my loppers, and my hand pruning saw to cut out a lot of the branch structure of this shrub. I wanted to remove anything that was crossing, anything that was like really bad shaped and would send the shrub out into a weird shape. And I think I'm close to done. I took out a bunch of these interior things so that this wouldn't be filled in with just weedy growth too much. I'm thinking about what to do with this one. I'm worried that these two stems with all of these offshoots will create too much shrub over here compared to the rest of it. So I'm thinking maybe this whole branch comes off down to the ground, leaving this one to fill in the back. I'm not 100% sure about that yet. I'm going to think on it. And I'm not sure about this one. It seems to be coming from the back to the front, and I think I probably want to cut that. In fact, I will cut that one off there. Okay. So this is pretty good. We'll get lots of little shoots coming up out of all over this shrub. They'll come up from all along the stem, and especially from here. In fact, you might be able to see that this joint is one that had, by a different person, already been rejuvenated, pruned back down to here, and then all of these stems grew out of the end of one of those branches. So that's what will happen. All of these branches will start to sprout out new branches, and we'll get suckers from inside and stuff too. So I'll have to decide if I want to cut out those suckers or let them fill in. I'm not sure. I'll probably cut them out. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, this branch and this branch seem to be very similar to each other as well. So I think I still have a little bit of clean out to do on the structure of this shrub. So let me just do a little bit more. The other thing I'm thinking about is I want the center to be the tallest, and then I want it to fall off down the sides, because I do want this to be kind of a ballish, roundish, squarish, ballish shape. And I do want leaves all the way down as low as that one. So I'm trying to leave the center stems the tallest, and then ball shape the rest of it. So I think this one has to get shorter, and we'll see after that. I'm thinking of the future. Once this all regrows like this one did, you know, in 3 or 4 or 5 years, what do I want the interior of this shrub to look like, and what kind of strength do I want these new branches to have based on the current structure. So I'm trying to get rid of anything that will result in a weak future branch structure. So I'm going to take this one off. There we go. All right, I think I'm getting close to done here. Yeah, I'm going to call that done and move on to the one on the other side of the house. Project done. I have no idea if I have just killed these hollies or if I've rejuvenated them. If you have ideas or suggestions for me, let me know. Also, I welcome your thoughts and good wishes on the health of these holly shrubs. But again, like I said, my backup plan is to remove them and do something else in there if they don't survive this treatment. So you sometimes have to take risks when you're gardening, and I am definitely a risk taker in my garden. I wonder if you are. Let me know in the comments below what kind of risk you're willing to take in your garden. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you had fun, and I hope you'll come back and watch us some more here at Harmony Hills Home and Garden. Have a wonderful day in your garden, friends. Bye-bye.